Hello and good evening, and you are back again with the crew here tonight. Yeah, speaking of the crew, we got John Foster, we have Nancy, we have myself uh, as the cruise skipper here tonight. Um, I, I really can I just talk everybody off the ledge here real quick. First, let me just say, I'm really enjoying where we're at right now with, in particular, I just want to talk about crypto real quick, and I'm going to get into some other financial stuff that I think is really important. We're in an adoption level at the corporate level up, Wall Street up, that is happening, and they're not. I love. I don't know if you guys can see this, but the bat phone is right there, the red bat phone, and the pull-up bar that obviously I seldom use is right up over there. This adoption is happening at a corporate level, at a banking level up. Those of you who witnessed, it was Chainlink and a few of the others, 3 or 4 different crypto companies were actually at the Federal Reserve in their own meeting with crypto. And at this time, it didn't feel like Choke 2.0. It didn't feel like that at all. It felt like, hey, come on in here and explain to us what's going on and teach us how to do this and really work with us. And it was one of the, as an economist, my whole life, it was just such a surreal moment for crypto. It was really amazing to me. I've never heard the Federal Reserve bring in anybody or form a committee to say, hey, teach us how to do banking transactions. Are you kidding me? Like, what? I had to take a double take. I was like, yeah, that's just going to be a big nothing burger. And then when I watched it, I was like, this is clearly like the most fundamental, large, biggest news in the history of the Federal Reserve, in my opinion. Like they weren't in there talking about banking transactions. They were in there talking about how banking transactions are going to be used in the future and how they're going to be put on a blockchain and how they're actually going to be used with stable coins and a combination of all of it. And they're inviting these people in there where 2 years ago, a year or 2 ago, they would have invited these people in and they would have said, well, tell us everything you know while they're writing notes down. And then they would have charged them criminally the week later. This didn't feel like that at all. Oh, excuse me. I just knocked the camera over here. This did not feel like that at all to me. In fact, I know it wasn't like that. They were like, look, how do we play catch up? This is as public as we want to go with this thing right now. This should have been all over the evening. This should have been everywhere. Everywhere in the world should have went. What? Excuse me? What was that again? Who was that? And yet I still have people telling me we're in a bubble. This is a crypto bubble. Look, I went through the .com bubble. I went through the real estate bubble. In fact, I've been through 2 or 3 real estate bubbles, and I've been through 2 or 3. Well, I'm gonna call them different forms of bubbles through the financial markets. In other words, stock bubbles. They're not really bubbles. They're just checks and balances, and they drop down and they level off after a 25% drop, and then they climb back up to all-time highs. There's always going to be a new all-time high, guys. How do I know that? Because they're always printing more money. If they stop printing money, then I would say, well, there could be a possible, stopping or a decline in the increase of all equity or all things for that matter. That's not going to happen until they stop printing. So when I saw this, and then I hear people telling me that we're in a bubble, I'm like, excuse, how can you be in a bubble when 95% of the people on the planet don't even own it? Explain that to me. How is it that corporations aren't sitting around telling everybody, hey, the Federal Reserve just had crypto guys in for a meeting, and they laughed at him and threw him out the door. No, that's not what happened. They were asking for advice. They were hoping that they could find out a way to keep and manipulate their system running the way it is using crypto, and explain to everybody, because let's remember, if you know about it on a public level, it's probably not all that important to know. I'm just going to clue you in on that. And I know that's sometimes hard for a lot of us to come to grips with. But 99% of everything that you hear in the media and any form of government and educational purposes for the people to educate you, to explain where we are in the world today, is complete worthlessness to you. It's of no value to you. It's not the leading edge of what's happening tomorrow. I'm just going to break that to you. And I know you probably even heard me say that before, but for me, I'm just like, how does the Federal Reserve come out and actually admit to any of this? Like, that doesn't show confidence to anybody that believes in the central banking system. It just doesn't. And then we got that genius bill passed, and the genius is just all simply just, well, let's just go ahead and undermine the banks. So we can go ahead and have the central banking system bypass banking and go directly from the Fed, the Treasury, directly to the people. Doesn't that sound like a CBDC to anybody? And who's been trying to tell you for how many years now that they were going to do this? Only they were going to sneak it in because nobody likes the term CBDC. But a stable coin, I can go with that. I like stable coins. Stable coins are great. Just be careful of the central bank stable coin, which is a CBDC. Gee, who knew? There is no difference between the two. Sorry, there just isn't. It's the issuer. Just be careful who the issuer is of the coin in which you're playing with. That's my little fun uptake of the week. Look, you watch all these other channels and you watch hours and hours of this stuff, and you know what's happening day to day, and what happened with, Chris Larson, and he sold some coins. I heard scuttlebutt on that for 2 or 3 days. That's not what I talk about on this channel. That's not what I talk about in particular on these Thursday nights. What I like to talk about on Thursday night is, well, let's put it real blunt. How do I make you rich? How do you and I make a lot of money? Because there's no other way to say, I have an exit strategy than I got rich and exited, right? I mean, after all, that's what this show on Thursday nights is about, is trust your exit plan, right? Plan your exit. But if you're exiting, that means you did pretty well in life and you're ready to get out of something or do something else with your money, right? So how do we get rich? How do you and I make a lot of money? How are you going to finance the rest of your life? How many channels are telling you about that? Probably not a lot, right? Probably not a lot. And I know there's the conservative guy who comes out and, Mr. whatever his name is. And then it was the blonde gal, I don't know, a decade ago. And she had all these strategies. They're all 60-40 plans, and they're all just ridiculously outdated, and it's growing moss, and it's absolutely not relevant today. It's just not. And I'm not at all giving financial advice. That is not what this channel does. What this channel does, when I say help us make money or get rich or wealthy, I'm talking about when I say rich or wealthy, let's go back to the title of this channel, The Staple Crew. So we're a crew. We all do it together, right? What is our slogan? Health, wealth, and happiness. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight. Because, see, health, I'm going to say a couple of things that are very controversial, and you can determine as to whether or not they apply to your life or they work in your frame of mind. Health, obviously, is something to be cherished and privileged. And it's something that not all of us have. It is not, this is a very controversial statement, but I believe it to be true. It's not just organically, randomly, I ended up sick and I don't even know how I got sick. Often that is the case, but not always. But we take it that way. Well, I don't know, I was doing great, and the next thing you know, I'm doing great today. It's like, well, what led you there? How'd you get there? What happened, right? But the big thing typically with people when they get sick is stress. Stress is that thing that just makes everybody grind, and you're grinding every day and you're running yourself ragged, and you can't understand why that you always get sick, or you always have the flu, or you always have this, or what something's going on in your life, and you can't grasp why me all the time. It's bigger. It's bigger than just what you and I and the doctor tells you. It's bigger than that. Clearly, it's got to be, right? I don't, this isn't really necessary health advice, but what I am saying is wrap your mind or your soul or your passion or your compassion or your appreciation around things and things that you want to see succeed, and you'll be blown away how well or how happy, healthy, and wealthy you can get. Healthy in particular, which is amazing. When you're so focused on what's great about the world and what you can do with it, and what you're going to do with your kids, your grandkids, your friends, your neighbors, and what you're going to do for the planet, you're so busy working on those projects, you have time to get sick. You just don't. And if you are already not well, spend as little time worrying about being not well and spend more time about thinking about all the great things you can appreciate in your life. Just saying. Doesn't work for everybody. Works for this man. A lot of people can't even wrap their mind conceptually around that. Anyway, I don't want to get into that. Wealth. We talk about wealth on this channel all the time. Wealth is one of those things. Health can be wealth, right? But let's talk about wealth in the sense of how much is enough for you? How much money is enough for you? And don't aim low. Please don't aim low. Aiming low is the biggest mistake that most people make when it comes to money and monetary lifestyle. Well, I only need $5,000 a month. Well, maybe right now, but with inflation where it's headed, and well, they're not going to quit printing that thing. So don't aim so low. You know what I mean? Aim a little higher. And then if you fall just a little short of that, you're doing really good, right? Yeah. So wealth. Wealth comes almost like health. Wealth comes to people who don't get in the way of it. And I know it's hard for people. It's really difficult. But I had a great conversation with a gentleman today who's done well in life, and he understands it. He gets it. He's like, yeah, I just can't get my own way. Alan, I feel like I'm in my way on this subject. I'm doing too much homework. I'm doing too much research. I'm finding what's wrong with it. This is a big mistake. And this is really what I want to talk about here tonight. When you're trying to find what's wrong with your health all day, or your wealth all day, or your whatever the problem is all day, you're focused on what's wrong or what's broken all day. That judgment, or that bringing to the forefront of what your thought is in the moment, and more moments during your day of the problem, is bringing more of that to you. Very law of attraction, if you will, if you're into that sort of thing. But it's very much, okay, stop and just do some quick, simple math. Can you think about something really bad and really good at the same time? Not really, right? It's very difficult to think of both of them at the same time. Sure, you can do one and then the other real quick, but you can't really do both at the same time, right? Odd that, right? Isn't that a little strange? It's like I can only think about one feeling at the time, but I can switch them back and forth, but I can't do both at the same time. Odd that. So what is it you should be focusing on? Your success, yes. Your happiness, clearly. Your financial freedom, definitely. Your wealth. What are you thankful for? How are you healthy? Even if you have a sickness, why don't you focus on all the good things that you still have? Try that. Not enough people do that. And I'm telling you, nobody's worked with more wealthy people in their lifetime than this man that you see before you or listening to right now. I know I make that statement a lot on this channel, but how many billionaires have you ever even met? How many YouTube channels can tell you that I know a billionaire? Let alone have said, oh, well, gee, over the last 35 years, I've worked for dozens of them and their wives and their kids and their grandkids, and they become family of yours. And you're drunk with them, and you're partying with them, and you're driving to the airport with them, and you're driving for hours on end at the wheelhouse of a boat, and you become best friends. How many people do you know that have been best friends with billionaires? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And the thing that always struck me is the one thing they never, ever, 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 ever contemplated was, gee, I wonder if I'm not going to one day ever have any money. No, that never even crossed their mind. Or one day I don't know if I'm going to make enough to buy the next toy. No, that never crossed their mind. They don't have time to think in lack. This is something that most of us spend most of our days doing, is thinking in lack. Thinking in lack of, I don't have enough. I don't have enough money. I don't have enough time. I don't have enough health. I don't have enough happiness. I don't have enough in my life. I need more. I'm taking inventory at this moment, and it's not enough. It's too low. And let's go back to what I just said a few moments ago. You can only have one feeling at a time. And if your feeling or your day or your thought process is of lack, you will live lack. And I know 90% of you are laughing at the camera right now, just going, this crazy old dog, it doesn't know what he's talking about. He should have to do my checking account. He should look at my bills. He doesn't understand. There's just not enough money to go through. Of course there's lack. I don't have lack. What are you talking about, old guy? This is true. You can only think of one thing at a time. And if your parents, if generations of your family have been poor, stop listening to them and stop reminding you or your spouse of exactly what your dad sounded like. Because he died broke. Because he couldn't wrap his mind around the statement I just gave you. He believed in lack. There's no such thing as lack in this universe. Look around. What have we run out of? Oh, well, there's not going to be enough oil. There's not going to be, one day we're going to run out of gold, and there's just not enough gold. We got to buy it. The price is going crazy. We haven't run out of anything. And I think that when we even remotely get close to running out of something, we'll just find the next thing to step into. So why is it your burden? Why have you burdened your life with this thought process of I must be the individual that concerns my day or my moment in my day with lack? I've got to be that guy because somebody has to hold the pitchfork for everybody else, that to light up the room. Torch, not a pitchfork. No, you don't. Please don't do that. Please find a way not to do that. And I know a lot of people tell me, oh, it's impossible, Alan. What you're asking me to do is just simply not relevant in my life. As soon as you look at, if I've got $10,000 in bills and I only have $9,000 in my account, I'm sorry, I just magically can't make $1,000 come to be. No, you can't. No, you're absolutely correct. You cannot do that. Today, can you know that next month you're going to make 11? You know how you start making 11 the next month? By not thinking you're only worthy of 9. By not thinking about what a struggle it is to earn the 9. By stop thinking and telling yourself how hard you work and how much you don't like going to work. Start telling yourself how much you enjoy working and going to work and hanging out with the people at work and doing more work, and how much fun it is when I have a goal and a mission and a dream, and when that goal, just a little sliver of that goal, starts to appear and show up in your life. And then you're standing there going, wow, look at that. That happened. And I want that to happen now. It's just a sliver. I know it's tiny, but that's what you focus on for the next 30 days, not the past in which you left. And I'm not trying to sound like Tony Robbins here tonight. I'm trying to explain to you, when people come up to me and people ask me this all the time, I'm talking about family members. I'm talking about everybody that knows me well. Why don't you ever have a bad day, Alan? Why don't you get upset? Why don't you get mad at people? People take advantage of you, Alan. People misrepresent you. People have started YouTube channels on whatever iChat or whatever to, representing who you are and conning people. Why don't you ever get upset about things? Because there's no value in it. None. It only can bring you down to the next momentous negative subject. And then the next one. And then the one after that. And then the next thing you know, it's 12 o'clock noon and your whole morning has been about how messed up the world is, how messed up my life is, how messed up somebody misrepresented Alan, and I hate the world. This person should be arrested or strung up, or they're dark light energy, and they're the problem with the world. And the reason why the kids are starving here and the poor are out on the street is because of, when that is your burden, you become your burden. The old beast of burden. You are that beast now. And I'm not trying to say that you need to neglect all those people. You should reflect on those things, and you should take them at their face value and say to yourself, what do I do about it? And how do I fix it? And where do I go about helping people earn more money? Earn more time in their day? What do you think this channel does? You think I sit around and tell you the evening news about what's going on in crypto? I've been doing this almost 5 years, telling you people, look, you got the right product. You bought crypto. The future is crypto. Banking, the whole world is, institutions are coming for what you own. I've been saying that for 4 years. What did I start the show with? How did this man know that? I didn't. Did I solely myself, just Alan, manifest all that? No, we did. Because we saw a better system. We saw a more fair system. We saw an application to where every human being who had a phone in their hand could become their own bank. That's power. That's energy. That's not lack. The old system teaches lack. It says, no, you don't qualify for a bank account. You're some poor person that lives over here, and you can't be trusted with money. You're not sophisticated enough. Do you know the judgment that's behind that for all mankind? And they call themselves political. They call themselves men of the people. They manipulate the money through the banking system to tell you how weak and dumb you are. And then something like crypto comes along in your lifetime, and you unlock that whole puzzle that they've laid on you and your grandparents and your father and your mom and dad and generations before you, to explain to you that you're not smart enough, sophisticated enough to understand how to take care of your own money, your own finances. You must give it to the bank. But yet you go to the bank and they don't have your money. Why? Because they invested it. Well, why don't I invest it? That's what you figured out. That's how you got smart. Through channels like this one and better channels, much brilliant people. Think about, I talk about this a lot. Who's winning? Who's winning? Are the stock brokerages winning? No. What are their gains? I don't know, 6-8% annually. Who's winning? Gold people, crypto people, and some real estate in some areas. But I mean, who's really winning? Crypto and gold, silver, precious metals. We're winning. The Federal Reserve is like wanting us to help them with crypto. We're not only winning, we're ahead of the curve by miles. So let's think about this. It's like I said to somebody on the phone the other day. What other direction do they have to go in? They can only use gold, and I don't think it's going to be gold because it doesn't make any sense. You send your kids to school and they got a little piece of gold because they need to, I don't know, buy lunch, or they got to stop at the store afterwards. Everybody in the neighborhood knows they have a piece of gold. If they're walking into a store, they got a piece of gold. So it's not going to be gold coins, right? We know that. All right. So it's got to be something digital, right? Well, when the Federal Reserve comes to crypto companies and says, well, help us with these banking transactions, it's definitely not going to be the old digits. They pretty much gave up on that. That day, that moment that they made that public, they're like, hey, we've got to catch up. You are their only choice. Well, are they going to use what? Shells? Are they going to go back to tally sticks? Dollar bills? You're the future of banking. You own the future of banking. You own the future of collateral and banking. That makes you like the JP Morgan of your day. If you don't know who he is and what he knew and what he figured out way back when. And what did Henry Ford say? Speaking of old timers, Henry Ford said the first person that could create an electronic money. Yeah, look it up. An electronic fair accounting of money as a currency. Sorry. They would rule the world. That's us. That's where we're at. Anyway, I don't need to do the whole cheerleader routine here again tonight. So you got the trade right. You've got the right assets. You've been given a couple of nice tools on your tool belt. MSTY is a pretty nice little tool. A lot of people doing really well with that. We have the Go Baby Trader. Think about that. You have Go Baby Trader. Again, it's a pitch, if you will. Now, let's call it what I'm about to say, what it really is. There's only 2 channels on all the internet that have access to that Go Baby Trader. Now, of course, you can go straight to the company and you can go do it, but it'll cost you more money than if you do it through the link. But let's wrap our heads around this real quick. This thing is making 5 to 7% a month for everybody using it. I had a guy, terrible, I can't remember who it was, called me the other day and said, Alan, I just started it, and when I woke up in the morning, I had $10 that I made while I was sleeping. Very first, he hadn't even had it on 12 hours, I don't think. I made $10 while I slept, Alan. So add zeros, guys. Add a zero, it would have been $100 while he slept. Add another zero, it could have been $1,000 while he slept. Day in, day out, 365 days a year, because it trades crypto, and crypto does not take weekends off, as we all know. 24/7, the money tree is growing. It's a powerful tool. Powerful tool. If you can't afford one, I understand it. $3,500 is a lot of money. And then you have to come up with at least, I'm going to say roughly, every $1,000 you trade with it, roughly, it earns $50 a month. Again, roughly. So you're going to want to start at least with $1,000 in your trading account. So that's $4,500 minimum. If you don't have $5,000, don't even play with the thing yet until you do. These are tools. You now have a tool belt wrapped around your waist, and you have access to making money while you sleep. Well, you bought crypto 2, 3, 5 years ago. While you slept, it went up in value. And STY making, I don't know, 5 to 8% a month as well. Same thing while you sleep. So what's your big goal here? Well, how do I feed those three? I've got to feed those three. So we've been talking about DCA for 5 years, almost 5 years on this channel, guys. 5 years. DCA, pounding it, buy, stop buying at Starbucks, whatever you need to do personally to build your account to when crypto goes crazy, it changes your life. That's what we've been talking about. And now I talk to people almost every single day and they go, oh my God, Alan, you help me hang on. Like I wasn't sure I was going to make it through the lawsuit. I wasn't sure I wanted to even keep going. I thank you. Thank Zach. Thank Dave. Thank Mickle. Thank, Brad. Thank DAI, whoever your guy, whoever, all those guys. Thank them all for me. If you run into them, Alan, thank them for me because they help us get through. You bought an asset that's going up 24/7, and now the world's coming for what you own. And it's going to happen over time. But the question is, how many channels are helping you find other tools? Or do they just want to microanalyze every aspect of what's going on in the news media about what happens next with each coin? I can't do it anymore, guys. I can't do that. Sorry about the gulping. I can't do that anymore. I refuse to split hairs on all of that. You have too many other channels, brilliant channels, the ones I just mentioned and many more. People to go through the daily news and help you with that. I'm here to help you understand that you're not alone. You have someone to talk to. The other people in this chat. You also have people to go up with, because I'm going to do at least one meetup a year. It's going to, I'm talking big meetup show that I'm doing in late January. I'm going to do another one in the summer too, I believe. Why? Why would I do that? Why? I'm probably going to lose money on the deal. I'm going to be totally honest with everybody here. I'm probably going to lose a lot of money putting on that show. But is it about money? No. Is it about relationships? Yeah. Is it about networking? Yes. Is it also the fact that I don't have anybody to sit around this ranch and talk about? Elizabeth, poor thing. She has to listen to me talk about crypto 24/7. So I'm not going to bore the woman any longer with it. And you're the same way with your spouse or your family. They don't want to hear you talk about XRP anymore. They just don't. And I know you think that you've got this new news flash and you want to bring it to them again. And they're like, they don't want to hear about it. They don't want to hear it. Just trust me, they don't. You want to surround yourself with people in a big room like the one we're going to have together. It's going to be a 2-3 day event. You guys already know about all that. But that's building community. It's not just you watching some YouTube channel. You're building a community, physically a community. You're sharing numbers and phone emails and networks, and we're going to do this. And what does that guy do? This guy does this, and that guy's good at that. And I need a guy who can, I don't know, farm next to me or whatever the deal might be. You're creating relationships. Because Why? Number one, your family. We're all family. Every person on this planet is a family member of yours. Like it or not, it's reality. But you're creating a family that understands you. They understand what you know. They're in the same boat. They're like, wow, I got all this XRP, or I got all this Bitcoin and all this Ethereum, and when are you getting out? I don't know. I'm not sure. My finances are this. Well, yeah, me too. It sounds familiar to me. I'm in that same. Well, I don't know. What do you think of this Allen guy? It sounds about half crazy about half the time. What should we do? Are you investing anything that he's talking about? It's like, I don't give financial advice, by the way. I give you tools. Maybe they work, maybe they don't. That's up to you to play with them, check them out. I'm going to tell you my experiences with them, and I'm going to tell you what other people have done. In fact, I was going to have somebody on tonight talk about the trader, but I think it's still just a little bit too early for that. I want enough of you to play with that thing for a while and say, okay, I'm ready to sell everything I own and put it in the go, baby. I already have heard that a dozen times from people. And I'm not selling that product at all. I'm selling the lifestyle it can give you. That's what I'm selling. I'm selling you an opportunity to say, I'm making a change. I'm tired of living my life the way my dad, the poor man who died broken, tired, and old and run down, and the system chewed him up. I'm offering you an opportunity, multiple opportunities. I'm not saying just that one. We're going to wear a full tool belt here, guys. You're going to have, trust me, this man right here does not stop looking for opportunities to share with you. Anybody that knows me well, my wife, my son, Simon, Kenny, I'm relentlessly looking for opportunities for everyone watching this video. That's what this man does. Because see, what I understood back when I was just a gold bug, and before that I was a stock bug, but what I understood back then, in particular, when I really figured the monetary system out right around 9/11, when I figured that all out, I said to myself, okay, I got to get in gold. I got to get something more scarce than just these jokers printing this stuff like it's a ticker tape parade. So what am I going to get in? So I became a gold bug, the whole thing, right? But when you get to a point to where you see this new avenue, which is crypto, and you understand it, you wrap your mind around, then you're okay, well, I've got that. All right, we're good now. I've got metals and I got this, and we're looking really good. So now how do I make a living? Now what do I do next? And that's your trading. You have to either become a trader or you have to settle on a system that trades for you. Pretty much, okay? Or you have to have a cash cow job or a company that you own. Those are your choices now. Or become an inventor, but that's even going to be difficult because what's going on with AI is kind of creating a lot of that stuff for people. The reason why I need to go back with the point I was about to make. When you live in a prosperous world, in a knowing that there is no lack, in a knowing of the knowledge that I don't know where, I don't know how, and I don't know when, because it's bigger than I am. When you commit to that, when you commit to just wide open, universally, my avenue, my expansiveness is, I don't know where it's coming from. I don't know how it's going to get here, but I know it's coming. That's how I learn about things to share with you guys. It's called being open. And it's called being understanding. And it's not being closed-minded. You can't be the guy that says, oh, well, that's too good to be true. I'm out. Nope, it's too good to be true. My dad, the poor guy who died tired, yeah, he told me it's too good to be true. It's too good to be true, son. Maybe. But maybe it resonates with you. Maybe it makes sense. Maybe you could do something and just try a little bit of something and just figure it out. Well, if you're crypto people, you are probably that person already. But listening to the sheep tell you to do what the other sheep are doing, you're in big trouble these days. You're in really big trouble, people. The people that are doing it conservatively now, what is conservative now? How do you financially do risk adverse trades or financial plan today? Where do you go with that? Money in the bank? Yeah, that's a zero sum. You're losing money annually, right? It's not the 20s anymore. You can't do that, right? What do you get? Where Wall Street? Okay. Yeah, no, you could buy the S&P or the NASDAQ. Sure. You're going to probably keep up with inflation. I'm down with that. I like that. You could do okay. Do you need more than that? You need to make money while you're sleeping. You're already doing that with crypto. We've got MSTY. If you're not really into the Michael Saylor thing, okay, that's cool. I get it. You don't care for his style. Got it. So look at Go Baby. And if those are so successful for you and you run into a financial situation where, wow, I've just made so much money here that I need another place to park it, Alan, what's the other place you got? I got one above those. But it's a big sum and it takes a lot of money and we're not there. Most of us are not at that point yet. But how much is enough? There isn't enough. That's the mindset I want you to think about. Oh, well, all I need is 10 grand a month. All I need, no, put a number on it. Just say more. More each month. More each month. The flow comes, the universal, like I was talking about a minute ago before I lost my train of thought, it can come from anywhere. I make money in ways today that I have no idea even that they existed a year ago. I didn't even know they existed. I didn't even understand it conceptually. And it appeared in my life and just said, boom, here you go. Here, take a plate full of this, Alan. And most people would have sat back and said, well, that sounds risky. Oh, yeah. Boy, I don't know. That's risky. I just don't think that's a good idea. My spivey senses are, they're telling me that's a scam and that's a ripoff. You probably shouldn't listen to anything those people say. I'd run if I were you. Those people are all broke. Those people are about to all stay broke. You have to take some risks. You can't just put your money in the bank. By the way, having your money in the bank is a big risk, but we won't get into that right now. You have to find a way. You have to have some faith. You have to see something in somebody on the internet or somebody who convinced you that, hey, you know what? I think that makes sense to me. I'll try it. That's how you got in crypto. Because you didn't walk around the yard like all the other chickens running around, their heads cut off. You actually said, hey, you know what? I'm going to think about this. I'm going to look into it. I'm going to do my homework. I'm going to figure out who Ripple is and why they have an XRP coin and what the coin does. And what is it going to do for mankind? Well, it turns out it has utility. Whoa. Is everybody going to be able to use that utility? Yes, everybody on the planet. I think I'll buy some of those. Oh, makes sense to me. Gee, I don't know. I started buying, it was 10, 15 cents. And where are we now? When everybody else said, oh, it's a banker's coin, don't deal with that. And oh, they're going through this big lawsuit. Just think about this. I'll never forget everybody telling me when the lawsuit was dropped, whatever that was, 4 or 5 years ago now, but it was right at Christmas Eve, right around the Christmas holidays. We all found out that, they're going through this lawsuit. I was like, great. Okay, that's fun. And everybody in crypto was, get out now. That's when I bought more. It was at 20 cents. It was at 20 cents. Like, look at it now. Like, please. That was the logical herd telling you, well, get out now. Blood in the streets. You should be exit liquidity for all those other people. No, stop listening to those folks. They don't know what they're talking about. And they're not open to new ideas. This is where I'm going with this entire show this evening. Pull all the preconceived knowledge of what you think investing has been for your entire life long. Pull it out of your ear, wad it up in a ball, and throw it over your shoulder and get rid of it. Because the world has changed. The world is completely different now, guys. And I don't mean even a little bit. It's completely different. I think I mentioned maybe I didn't. There's a guy works for a bank that I can't really even talk about, but its initials are HB something. HS maybe something, B something. So one of those, Hong Kong type banks. They're buying Bitcoin by the bundle. They can't find enough of it. And the price is there, 115, 108, 115, 108. And these people in China are soaking that up like it's gold today. I'm talking about the big players in the markets. And what's happening to the retail price? Nothing. Nothing. How long is that going to go on? Who knows? But the big banks know what's going on and they see it. Banks don't get any bigger, or finances don't get any bigger than the Federal Reserve. And they're kicking our door in. And the whole world is like got blinders on, walking around like, well, anything but crypto. You should be doing anything but buy that crypto thing. And I'm like, are you not? What's the matter with you? Well, the opportunity is in real estate. Really? The opportunity is in the S&P. Really? Oh, okay. Right. It's comical, the world we live in right now, guys. And people can't figure it out because everybody's locking down and they're all getting nervous and they're all sitting around going, they sound like a bunch of nervous Nellies. Well, I think it's going to crash. How about you? Well, me too. We're really worried about crashing. And I just think it could be a really bad day. And the market could go down, I don't know, 60, 80, 90%. How did I start this show? Who talks like that? Losers talk like that. People who want to sound smart on YouTube talk about doom and disaster and gloom. And I have all the financial records and the statistics over here to tell you that the crash is imminent. They're losers, hoping for a big loss. Do you know what kind of mindset it takes to be that person? Do they sound optimistic to you? Do you know that the most optimistic traders are the most successful traders in the world? The most optimistic financial planners in the world are the most successful financially. They make the most money. They're too busy making money and seeing the reward of making money and making new business and making a new entrepreneur corporation and a new widget and a new idea and a new concept and a better market and making a better world for everyone, that they have no time to sit around and consider a crash. Stop listening to those fools. Start understanding that simple concept that I just explained to you. You're too busy winning. You're too busy making money with money to worry about lack of money. Find that mindset. Find it. I know it doesn't come natural. I understand that. What comes natural is to step back and analyze the holes in the dike. I know that's difficult. But what I really want you to start looking at is the fact that the dike is 99.9% holding water, not the little leak. Nobody thinks like that. Everybody wants to fear the leak. Their loser mentality has spread around this planet because it's the conservative, easy way to not stick your neck out and not get embarrassed by my peers. I have to play it safe. Keep my money tight to my vest. I'm not telling you to go out there and just spend willing. I'm not trying to tell you that. I'm trying to tell you, find something that makes you money and understand that that's all it takes. I got into it with an individual on the phone the other day, and he's quite well to do. Almost said his name. You know what annoyed me the most about the whole conversation? He wasn't listening to himself. It doesn't matter what I say. It's what he was saying to me. You can't offend me. You can't upset me. What I was trying to express to him is, you're not listening to you. Don't worry about what I think. And above all else, don't worry about what you think of Alan or me. What works for you? If you're sitting here trying to ridicule another human being, you're wasting your day. See, he just couldn't wrap his mind around a trading system that a man invented that would earn 5% a month. Alan, it's a scam, Alan. Oh, okay. Yeah, all right. This is a scam. Okay. I'm all right with that. You'll never be scammed by that because you're too smart to buy that and to spend the money to research and check it out. I get it. Okay, I'm all right with that. I don't struggle with that. You don't need it anyway. Do your thing. I know, but aren't you worried that you're leading these people down this thing and it's scamming people out of their money? I said, your judgment of something that you don't understand is the problem with you, not the problem with me. That's your issue, not their issue or my issue. It's your hurdle. That's your burden. You've become that beast. That's for you. I said, it doesn't take a whole lot of brain cells to know that do it small. Start small. Prove me wrong. Don't just jump out in front of the room and with all the other sheep in a big giant herd and tell me what you know about something you don't know anything about. Bunch of that going around the world today. Prove it to me. Let's see you get, let's see you show up with a fact or two. Let's see with some life experience as to showing me how it fails. Don't just speculate and tell me that it's risky on a hunch. Yeah. And then I said, how many poor people have you made wealthy? How many people that weren't doing well that you helped make money? Well, he's like, well, I don't know. I don't know of any really. I've employed people over the years, and I gave them a steady job. And I said, so you're playing the cop on the street for all of these people that might lose some money, but you've never actually helped them make money before. Well, yeah, kind of. I mean, I flat out called him out on it. Okay. You don't need to make money, but how about all those people that they don't want to do their job anymore? They're tired. They're tired of putting their boots on in the morning. They want something else to make them money. How about that? How about that possibility that could be out there for those people? And then he tries to tell me that 5% a month is impossible. Okay. All right. Whatever. I'm okay with that. Whatever you want to believe. But I know for a fact that banks make 500% annually. I've seen it on their books. 500%. A little thing I've talked about on this channel before. A little thing called BOLI. Bank-owned life insurance. And they've owned it for hundreds of years. And just wrap your head around compounded interest over hundreds of years. That's impossible. Okay. Because it hasn't been part of your life experience. It doesn't exist. I get it. There's that scarcity mindset again. Is it possible? Is it possible that you don't know something? That maybe there's things going on in the world that you don't know anything about? And people are succeeding and having incredible lives doing it? Is that even possible with you? It's very complicated. And we get stuck in this. We all do, because it's not part of our information feedback loop that we're all stuck in. So step out of that sometimes and look around and figure out what you can do for yourself. And then he was like, well, this and this and that. I said, do you understand what 5% of it? I'm just going to insult everybody right now. Let me just go ahead and insult everybody. If you have something that earns you 5% a month, and if you're not wealthy within 5 years, you're just an idiot. Do you know what returns of 5% a month? That should change. That should change the face of every human being on this planet. God, that's right. I just said it. You're an idiot if you can't make a living, if you can't succeed for the rest of your life on 5% on a month, returns a month. There's multiple products out there right now like this. And yet I still get people who text me all the time and I say, well, okay, Ellen, well, what do you think about me locking up my XRP coins? And I just want to earn a yield on them. And I'm like, okay, what's your yield? Well, it could be as much as 4 or 5% annually. Oh, okay. All right. You're going to risk your coins for 4 or 5% annually. All right. Maybe you got so many coins that'll make a difference in your life. Maybe, I don't know. But if there's any form of risk at all in you locking your coins up, please don't do that. That's not going to work for you in the long run. Better to maybe sell a few of those and earn 5% a month. I don't know. I'm just saying. But please don't fall into the trap of getting something that works really well, like MS2Y or this trading platform, and go baby trader, or and saying, okay, well, I got to sell all my crypto now, because no. The future of all banking I went over is not gold. It's got to be crypto, right? Because we're not going to walk around with gold coins. So even if we're going to trade the value of gold, it has to be on a network or a platform that is crypto or stable coin of some sort, correct? Even a gold bug would have to admit to that, because we're not going to walk around with coins in our pockets. I mean, unless it becomes Armageddon around here. That's not going to happen, right? It can't physically happen. I had this discussion with a friend of mine just recently. You know what one of the largest deterrents of armed robbery was? I bet a lot of people don't know this. Being able to use your phone to pay for things. It's like when somebody's begging on the side of the street, nobody carries cash anymore. Now, they could steal your credit card, or armed robbery could make you use a debit machine or something like that. But like code on a phone, they're like, yeah, I don't know how to make them do that, right? It was a big deterrent. When we got away from gold coins in your pockets, everybody knew you had the gold coins because you're clanking around down the street. It's all evolving. Money makes money. You need to find a way to find products that do that for you, and people that can help you find those. The help is out there. It's way bigger than this channel. It's way bigger than the people I even get to meet in my lifetime. But there are rooms that you can go to. And one of the rooms that I happen to know too, shameless plug, is a little place called Fort Lauderdale that we're going to have a show coming up in January 29, 30, and 31. I hope you all, if you haven't bought a ticket, please buy a ticket, show up, enjoy each other's company. Who we all are together is important as a team and as a group and as a crew and a family, that you get to share your life, your story with everybody, because it's very similar to other people in the room. And I know your spouse probably isn't going to relate to all of it, but I will tell you, when the spouses go to these meetings, they're like, oh, wow, that's a real community. Like, how many real communities do you have left in your life? I mean, think about it. How many communities can say that we have 500 members in our community, and we like being around each other, and we like doing things together? It's a real privilege, and it's an Aragon time pass that we don't assemble like that like we used to, and I miss it, and I miss doing all of it. All right, I think I've rambled on long enough here tonight. I was going to take a couple of questions here at the end. I'm excited about how many things we got going on. You know, when I was talking about earlier in the show about you just never know where the opportunities are going to come from. You just don't. You have no idea. So don't rule any of them out until you've thought about it. And don't always, when somebody comes up with a good idea, and just don't look the gift horse in the mouth. Just go, okay, well, all right, maybe I'll try it, or maybe I could see how that would work, or contact people in the group and find out what their success is. And word of mouth is really, it's so much more valuable than the internet today. I mean, the internet, anybody can post anything they want. I mean, people are posting that I did. So like it's already, people are duplicating my channel and other channels and like saying it's me and conning people out of their money. And like what I'm talking about is real life experience with another person telling you this thing's working for me and it's changing my life and my family's life. And you should check it out. That's all it takes is word of mouth today. And I was going to have a person on tonight and I didn't, but they'll be on probably next week. It's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait for all of you to hear the stories of the people's lives that this thing is changing. I don't mean this thing as in go baby. I mean as in like AI tech, robotics, AI trading platforms in all its forms is really, you're on the leading edge of this, and volatility is all we need. And God knows we've had volatility in the crypto space lately, which means everybody's making money who's got one of those bots or one of those trading platforms. They're all successful every single day because of the volatility going up and down. Is easy for a robot to pick those off 24 hours a day. So while you sleep, you're making money. And when you're just a hodler, and I don't mean just being a limited or anything negative or throwing shade on anybody for being a hodler. I'm a massive hodler. I'm one of those people that I think I start buying at 16 or 17 and pretty much haven't sold any coins. So I'm a hodler as well. But what I'm talking about is making money with crypto. Is here and it's now. And different trading platforms are really successful these days. I've bought a few that weren't, many that were not, and they were expensive. And you had to learn, and you got slapped around, or they worked, or they kind of did, and they kind of didn't. There was good things about them. They were in a perfect market. They made money and stuff like that. But now just volatility is all we need. God knows we all have that. So, yeah. Let's see. I'm going to read a couple of the. Who do we have here? Yes, I will be golfing in Florida. Yeah, I'm going to play golf Thursday at that event. So far, I've only had one person that I promised I'm going to ride with, or is going to be in our group anyway. I'm probably going to ride with multiple different people, just hang out and see everybody. Outdoor boys, you definitely need to get a ticket, brother. I don't even want to hear that you're considering not coming. That's unacceptable. No pressure. What do we have for Haley? I'm coming to Fort Lauderdale too. I live very close. Can't wait. Yeah, it's gonna be awesome, Haley. You're gonna love it. It will be nice in there, like-minded people when you speak. The most friends and family. I feel like that. Yeah. It's tough. Our friends and family don't really understand what we own or what we know about the future of banking and crypto and the rest of it. But they have other things. They have busy lives. They have other stuff to have fun with. Let's see. Where's a good site to learn the bot? About all bots, or there's a link down below that you can check out. Go Baby. You can look into that program, that bot, if that's the one you're talking about. Under any one of my channels or shows, there's a link to Go Baby, and that's the only thing I've really, honestly, people, in the almost 5 years have been doing this, the only product I've ever endorsed. So I really believe in the man that created it. And, it's working for a lot of people, and a lot of people are having great success with it. So there's a link to that, but there's an email address underneath all the shows. And that email address, if you email that address, it will prompt you to how to get a ticket to the show. If that's what the questions were. Let's see. Happy almost Friday. Yeah. Of course. Yeah. It's in and out. Yeah, that's a great question. Do I think the ETFs are going to start after the government shutdown? I think, yeah, but it's still within our time frame, right? Like we were looking at November anyway, so I hope so. I think it's going to be a real adrenaline boost for, in particular, Solana and XRP. I think those two are going to reap the biggest rewards. I talked about it a couple of weeks ago, the way they took all the liquidity or the leverage out of the market, out of the crypto market 2 weeks ago. Seemed almost like an intentional move to all of us on that Friday afternoon. And by the way, it didn't have anything to do with Trump's tweet to China. I mean, please, that's not what happened that day. And I know you guys are smarter than that, so you don't listen to that stuff. Yeah, what about bank on yourself? Become your own banker. Is that what you mean? Great book. Yes, this one. Becoming Your Own Banker by R. Nelson Nash. I know that. I realize that's backwards, but there you are. R. Nelson Nash. I went to his house. I interviewed his son-in-law and his daughter. And it was, I will tell you, an honor and a pleasure to meet those people and see the house that Mr. Nash built. If you have not read this book, the simple logic of this book is brilliant. It gives you a different perspective on how money works and how you could make money work for you. I think it's probably one of the most important financial tools that I've ever heard. If you were to follow this specifically, if you're under the age of 50, I'd say under the age of 60, this will change your life. And you don't have to be, I got to research it all. It's only 92 pages. It's the concepts and the simple country logic and the way he explains how money works and how you can use the system to your advantage. It's really good stuff. What else do we have as far as questions here? Let's see. What do we got? Yeah, a lot of people have that book. Will there be security in the room with 500 XRP dangerous? Watch the backs. People, yeah. Yes, there will be security. We have two in particular, well, one in particular gentleman who was a 3-letter agency and still sort of works with 3-letter agencies. And then we have another guy who was 3-letter agency. And then we have another guy who every time the 3-letter Secret Service comes to his town, he's called to duty, if you will. That guy is going to be not running, but hand in hand with the security at the building. Trust me, he's on our side and he's a good man. He knows who I'm talking about. I don't know whether he's listening tonight, but I know his friends are. He probably is listening. I can't talk to my friend. Yeah. Do you think that, yes, we already talked about that one. Let's see, John Foster. Hey, Alan, I'm worried because I can't make it to Florida. I am going to miss out on all the opportunities. John Foster, that's not, I wouldn't say that's going to be the case, although there's going to be reasons why you're going to want to be in the building. But I do believe I'm working on that. All right. Like, we're going to know a lot more weeks before the show because I'm going to let more out of the bag. But weeks after the show, they will be accessible to you. I'm just going to put it to you like that. And it's not like you got to be in the building to get the winning lottery ticket. It's not that at all. Okay. So no, you're going to be fine, John Foster. Don't sweat it. Or Forrest Foster. It is Foster, yeah. The lights are completely in my eyes, so reading these things for an old dog is not the easiest thing. Say what? You're coming from Australia to Fort Lauderdale to see the show. I am blown away. Please get a hold of me. Let me know that you're going to be, run up in front of me, and you can't hide your accent. So come up and say hello and remind me who you are. Hopefully you're playing golf too. That'd be a lot of fun. I have Caleb and Brown guys coming to the show. I think at least two of them. And Andrew and James for sure will be there. And they have an office now out of Fort Lauderdale. So those two guys are going to be there. But Jim is also an Aussie. He has to stay behind. He's back in Melbourne. I don't think Jim's going to make it, although he is my favorite in the entire company. Love that guy, man. He's young, smart, just a really... I'm going to address something real quick here without being too controversial. There's people that have said some pretty negative things about Caleb Brown, who custodian coins. And my advice to anybody who is in competition with anybody else, find a way to just promote yourself and do the best you can about being as good as you can be with your product and your people, and stop worrying about trying to throw your competitor under the bus, because it really makes you look like a sleazy politician or a game show host, or worse yet. Please, if you're good and you're great at what you do, that will shine, and the people will come and they will find you. But if you want to talk bad about a great company like that company to promote yourself, grow up is what I'd like to say to that person. People, it's more than one person. And I find it frustrating. I really do. Promote yourself. Believe in yourself. Believe in what you do. And if you have to throw somebody else under the bus to make yourself look good, is it really worth standing that tall to stand on somebody else? Is it really worth that much to you? What is it? Money for you? Is this world just about making more money? Is that what it is? To literally take business from another man and put it in your pocket, especially when a lot of the things that you're saying are absolute lies. And that frustrates me. It frustrates me when our business, this crypto business that we're all in, gets a lot of black eyes on its own. It doesn't need any more black eyes. We don't need that. We're all succeeding here. We can all do it together. We can all thrive together. And we can show the rest of the world and show the old business model how ridiculous they are by looking at life that way. The way politicians just trash each other to make themselves look better. Just absurd. I just don't even understand that logic. Just please. You know what I mean? Anyway, before I get on any higher horse than that one, I always promise I'm going to answer questions. I never do. And tonight, I guess I better get to a couple of these. The growing XRP share developing assets across institutional lending, liquidity, decentralized finance, of course, yield opportunities. Yeah. There's a lot of DeFi coming our way, obviously. I'm a man that was trashed by Celsius and a few of the others. Gemini was bad for me for a couple of years there. I did get my money back from Gemini. I think a lot of the Gemini twins, I know that's not their name, but I think a lot of those two men, for what they did and the way they got every dime that they owed me back to me. Not just because, I have a YouTube channel or anything like that. They don't even know that about me, but they paid everyone back. That speaks a lot to me about who they are. And, most of them didn't. Ripple raised $1 billion. Yeah. It's interesting because a lot of people are talking negatively about Chris Larson. Like Chris Larson or not, that doesn't have anything to do with why he sold his coins. He sold his coins to fund opportunities for Ripple. And it's so annoying, and I see it in all communities. I even see the XRP community doing the same thing. But people they'll only tell half the story. They'll only tell the half that they're trying to push or promote. And I actually commented on a guy was talking. I won't talk about his channel, but that man said some very negative things about Chris Larson and Ripple. And why would you believe in a company that's just using you as exit liquidity or strategy? He's just selling his coins to make money, and yet you keep buying them. And he didn't take the time either to research it, or he knew why Chris Larson sold that. And he didn't mention it, or he either knew it and didn't want to talk about it, or he just was looking for a reason to throw Chris Larson under the bus. My dog Clearkin tells the time for him for us to go play. He's like, "Dad, you've been talking to that screen long enough." Jesse, down, big guy. No, that's enough. So that bothered me a bit. I mean, it bothered me a lot because he only told half the story. He didn't say why Chris was selling. He didn't say what he was using it for. No, down. No. He didn't, and that bothers me. I see Ripple XRP channels do the same thing about other coins, and it just, please explain why he sold those coins. Explain what his motive might have been, even if you don't even know. To just speculate like that, it really bothers me. Anyway, can we all just play in the same sandbox here, kids? Stop slinging sand around. I don't even understand what, you're just going to get sand in your face. I mean, eventually it comes back, right? It comes back to you. Okay. I heard, I got to tell this funny story. A person calls me up the other day. I've known this person a long time. And he's all panicked because his chat GPT had told him that basically XRP was worthless. And I was like, he's a bit of a nervous Nelly guy. You know what I mean? You know the type, right? Like everything worries him. And it's just like I don't know. I think I should sell everything because it's gone up so much, Ellen. And I just don't think what if it goes back to 50 cents? And, he's that guy. And it's just like, holy smokes, man. I love you like a brother, man, but let it be. Just you're beating yourself up, and it's not good for you, man. It's just not. With ChatGPT, listen to what it said. I'm going to read it to you. Understand this, guys. You're programming that thing. Yeah, I said it. You're programming that thing to be you, to tell you what you want to hear. So if Nervous Nelly is programming ChatGPT every day, 5 to 10 times a day, in this Nervous Nelly slant, it's going to start spitting the Nervous Nelly back at you. Do you understand that? It's learning from you. That's what it does. It's adaptive. It's going to start sounding like you after a while. Just understand that, okay? Please, you know that, right? I got, you can probably hear, he's like, Dad, what are we doing here, Dad? I'm tired of you talking to that screen. Anyway, just know that about ChatGPT. If you're a bit of a negative, slanted person, you're going to get the negative feedback from that thing. I'm just telling you, man, that's what's happening. Grok's a little bit better, but even Grok will form that on you. So be careful with all that, all right, guys? I don't see any more. Yeah, I know Jesse wants to play. It's just, that's it. It's learning language models. Everybody understands that, I hope, right? Like, you can get that thing to say anything you want. All you got to do is like, well, no, that's not the answer I'm asking. That's not. You'll keep rephrasing the same question until it gives you the answer you want to hear. Nothing objective about that. You program the thing to tell you what you wanted to hear, which is bad news. And remember, guys, I'm going to kind of end on this. You know that the largest channels in YouTube are all spreading bad news, right? You know that, right? Look it up. It's not rocket science. Anyway, it's very frustrating when I hear people try and tell me that because ChatGPT said something, that this is what's going to happen next. Number one, you don't know that. You don't know that. So don't tell me that, oh, well, it's going to crash tomorrow because chat said so. Okay. All right. Well, I heard that for what, 6 months, a year and a half for that now? There's some guy that's been on 6 months. He's been talking about Bitcoin's going to $50,000 for 6 straight months, and people still blow up. The guy has like 200,000 subs. I'm laughing. I'm just going, well, people just want to hear what they want to hear. That's what they do, like, it's not complicated. Alan, do you think there will be any Happy Gilmore moments at the golf game? Yes, there will be. There will be no crocodile or alligator incidents, however. I don't think there'll be any hockey sticks on the course. However, there's a lot of Canadians going. So, there's never know when a hockey stick could jump out of a golf bag. But Happy Gilmore incidents, yes. Yeah, that will be acceptable behavior on the course. In fact, short of anything illegal, that's kind of a gray area, and lighting the place on fire or doing something to hurt yourself or somebody else, it's fair game. It's a 4-man baseball tournament with laughs and beers. Like, we're not keeping score hardly. I guess we have to keep score to some degree, but you see where I'm going with this, right? Like, it's going to be a blast. What I'm talking about. I think that in the first year, everybody's going to be on pins and needles. Like the second year, I don't even think there'll be any rules. None. I'm going to go without the rule book. All right, guys, I got to get out of here. Obviously, the dog is chewing on my arm here has decided he wants to go do something else other than this. All right, guys, just know I love you all very much, and I appreciate you all, and thanks for tuning in, and I hope you got something from tonight's show. Remember, you make a better tomorrow for you. That's what you do. And when you make a better world for you, that means the whole world around you gets a lot better. That's what we're all doing here, people. Health, wealth, and happiness. Okay? All right, guys. Love you all very much. And I can't wait to meet you all personally. It's going to be a blast. Too much fun.